Welcome to episode 104 of the PACT Life Podcast. I'm your host, Bruiser Carter. John today here with my family. We have Mr. Demond Geis with me.
How you doing? Check me out. See Nike just do it.
We then diagonal we got my brother, Mr. Cut Carter. And last but not least, we got the madman himself, Mace. Yo.
Hey, don't be mistaken by the shirt. I do not play games.
Bar. Gentlemen, how are you guys doing?
Good, man.
The Suns, Chris Paul advanced. I feel pretty good.
Oh, you're Suns fan now.
I'm a Chris Paul fan.
What about you, Carter?
Yeah, I like to see it. I just like to shout out those Hawks that I said would be in the Eastern Conference Finals. Thank you. Based on who they play. Not trying to shoot somebody down, but that boy Bruiser had him losing 2 times. You had him lose to the Knicks, didn't you?
Nah.
Oh. But you got him losing against the Bucks, and that's where we disagree again. So I'm excited.
Getting ahead of ourselves, but I did get the Bucks being the next right since we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Me too.
Me too. I went 2-4 in my predictions in the semifinals, all the East right. Oh no, 1-4. Only got the Bucks right in the semifinals, so
I'm doing good in the East, terrible in the West, but without the Lakers, it's hard.
Before we start, happy belated Juneteenth, everyone. For the podcast viewers, we're recording this after Juneteenth, so happy Juneteenth to you all. Went to a rave, I gotta say, it was fun. I just had to bring that up. Appreciate the invite, Mace. Had a joyous time in the mosh pit, just vibing. Great vibes, interesting, new experience, but very interesting. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Retweet.
You guys ready? Get into it. All right. We'll start in the Western Conference. We'll start with the number 1 seed, the Utah Jazz. We're going to recap the round 2 semifinals. The Utah Jazz, after going up 2-0, they lost 4 straight games to the Los Angeles Clippers, losing 4-2. The Jazz, Cut Carter, how do you was the main one on us, me and Demond, telling us that Rudy Gobert not like that. No, we don't care about the Jazz as the 1 seed. It was all about the Lakers or the Clippers. Nobody's worrying about the Jazz. What should the Jazz do now?
Trade the person you named.
What did I name?
$272 million man. Oh my goodness. You supposed to be a defensive player of the year, but you're getting slayed by Reggie Jackson and Terrence Mann and PG. You're not a valid defender outside of the paint. Barely in the paint. You're really not a valid defender outside of the key, the 3 in the key. Like if he comes out, once he gets out of that area, he's a liability. He's too slow. And then I don't even want to talk about his offensive game. He has no moves. People say Giannis don't have no moves. Giannis got more moves than him. Gobert has no moves. None. Nada. 0. So when he's not good on defense, and he's also not that good on offense, what benefit does he have to your team?
He's starting off hot.
Just saying. And you got a team full of shooters, and he's not even getting the rebounds when your team keeps shooting. However, the Jazz were the number 1 3-point shooting team in the league this year. And just like most teams, they died with it. However, we've only seen one team that was number 1 in 3-pointers actually make something out of that. But that's because they were good in other aspects as a team. So
who's that team?
Oh, Golden State. So now we go back to this Jazz team. Donovan Mitchell literally put his health on the line. He out there giving them 40, playing 40-some minutes, and it's still not enough. So outside when Ingles and Bogdanovic go a little cold and Jordan Clarkson is all you got off the bench, they need a valid big man. They don't have nothing they can rely on, like down low. Derek Favors wasn't going to do it, not at this point in his career. And we know Rudy Gobert not built like that. So do you keep running it back with this same team? Are we satisfied with the 1 seed? I'm not.
Oh, okay. Mike Conley is
Oh, I forgot he was even there.
his
My bad.
contract
He was coming back.
expires this year. So he got paid $34 million this year. So will they resign him or let him walk and have because they will have another max roster spot available if they choose to pursue it. It's up in the air.
Let him walk.
Demond,
Hmm.
how you feeling about the Jazz? They fought hard. We thought it was gonna be a great series. I just think when Kawhi was out after the last two games, the Jazz were in the position to take a hold of this series and win it, but they didn't pull through. What's up? What should the Jazz do?
Uh, I'm really not sure, like what the flexibility of their roster is. Gobert, then he's bringing in the money. I believe his cap is going to be 47 mil. Donovan's sitting at 37 mil.
Yeah, next year Rudy's is 35 mil and Don Mitchell's 28 mil.
Okay, don't know where I got my numbers from. That's why you don't believe what you read on Twitter. But hey, man, uh, hats off to the Clippers, man. They took advantage of Gobert, and like they said in the post game interview, their plan was to let Terrence Mann beat them, but he did. So I don't think something as simple as that, for a head coach of the year candidate, Quinn Snyder. I mean, you got to swallow the bullet and take the defensive player of the year off the floor and make that change. I think it's gonna have to for them just continue to get better. I mean, nobody expected them to be this good that this year. What more can they add? They're not a big market. They really don't have much to give up. So, I mean, I'm not sure what the answer to that question is. What Doc Rivers said, I don't know the answer to that question. Um, there's no telling what the Jazz can do, but you go through Donovan Mitchell, you continue to rely on Rudy Gobert. Let's call it what it is. He's going to be a dominant defender no matter what. He's probably going to be an all-star in the big man category and be in the running for his fourth defense player of the year. It is what it is. You can hate it. It don't really matter. So they're going to probably keep him and try to build upon that. And we'll see them continue to fail or get better, one of the two. But I don't think they'll stay where they are. I mean,
I think they gotta before I give it to Mace, I think they gotta go pursue a wing defender and a wing player who can create their own shot. Like they need they need a 3 and D, but also a 3 and D and a shot creator. I think they was lacking this series because every time Donovan Mitchell or Jordan Clarkson drove, they kick it to the shooters, Ingles, Bogdanovich, Royce O'Neal. But then if they run them off the line, if your three is not falling, they weren't making the shots. They weren't making the play. So I think
But
a
they're
wing
all
defender.
three.
What?
That's all. That's what all of those people you just named are of. They
They're
all
not
are
shot
three.
creators. They're not. I said in a shot creator. Like off the dribble,
Bogey
driving
can
and
create
pulling up.
a shot.
Well,
Bogey
there's
can
one
create
guy who does all of what you just described, and he's a free agent this year.
Oh,
He ain't gonna go there. He ain't gonna go. Kawhi. He ain't gonna go there though. Kawhi's out there. Kawhi's out there this year. He's by far. I mean, he's obviously the best player in free agency. But I agree with Derek and John. I mean, Derek and Demond. There's nothing wrong with the Jazz. They just underperformed. Quinn Snyder got out coached by Ty Lue. We need to be giving him a lot of credit. The Game 6 Terrence Mann situation, nobody could have predicted that. I don't hold that too much against Snyder and the Jazz. However, Game 7 in the third quarter, when they were up 20 something, and because Quinn Snyder would not, as Demond alluded to, pull Rudy Gobert off and bring in maybe a Joe Ingles to help with perimeter defense, it was just getting obliterated by corner threes the entire quarter, and Quinn Snyder never adjusted. That is why they lost. To not beat the Clippers team without their best player as the first seed is remarkably embarrassing. But the team, they just came off the first seed. They're a good team. They don't need much if they need anything. Stuff just happens, man. This has been the SHIT happens year of the NBA of the NBA playoffs, in my personal opinion. A lot of weird stuff is going on. But there's also a lot of parity. People have been praying for parity for years. Outside of the Raptors winning in 2019, it's been, one or two, maybe a third team. So I'm really enjoying the fact that the four remaining teams are outside of three people, there are no champions. It's going to be really nice to see how these semifinals go down. But in terms of the Jazz, they just folded, bro. Like, They don't need to go and run and spend a whole bunch of money. I don't think they need to get Mike Conley back, and I also don't think that Gobert is an issue. Gobert deserves all the accolades he has. He just didn't need to be on the court at that time. That's how I feel. Jazz, bye-bye. The Clips, I love the Clips. No, actually, no, I hate the Clips. Why did I lie? I hate the Clips. They're not winning more than 2 games against the Suns. But I'll let Bruiser segue into that. So there's my spill.
Before we go,
hold on. I want to say this about Rudy Gobert. So in the closeout game, he was negative 24 on plus minus, meaning when he's on the court, they're getting outscored by 24 points. He played 42 minutes in that game. Then on top of that, he's supposed to be DPOY and this dominant big man down low. He has 0 blocks in back-to-back games. Game 7, game 6 and 5. Then on top of that, in the closeout game, the Clippers shot on him 19 times in the second half. They made 15 of those shots on him, 79% when he was guarding somebody, the nearest defender. On top of that, he makes $10 million more than Donovan Mitchell. He made $47 million. Donovan make $37. He's higher paid. He's higher paid than Jason Tatum, Donovan Mitchell, Anthony Davis, and Jamal Murray, all who have had way better playoff moments than him. And you know how I feel about Tatum. He's been better in the playoffs than him.
Okay, look. So that negative 24 thing, that speaks directly into what I was referencing earlier about Ty Lue was spreading the floor. The second half of Game 7, he was spreading the floor. So they were going negative 24 largely in part to the fact that they weren't attacking the basket.
Right.
Because of Rudy Gobert's presence. Now here's the thing. Yes, he's DPOY. But like at the end of the day though, this isn't Draymond Green, this isn't Tony Allen. He's not effective when he's not in the paint. But so they got outscored. They weren't scoring on Gobert. They were scoring away from Gobert, and it was a failed effort at Quinn Snyder to address the Terrence Mann corner 3 situation. But that's to me what was going on.
And that was game 5. But in game 6, they were going at him. Like it was like, bro, they shoot. Reggie Jackson literally was going straight at him. It was almost like unbelievable to see you got a 7-footer right there getting slayed by a 6'3" guard.
Gobert, hey, look, if we can, in terms of the money thing, bro, Nipatune making $35 million. It's a lot of weird contracts out there. It's almost as if you get an all-star and it's like you can get a max contract. I don't think Rudy Gobert deserves a max because he's not offensively capable enough. But he makes more money than Donovan Mitchell. They also signed a contract at different times. You know, that's just one of those things.
I was about to say, and it also ties in with the All NBA teams, the Defense Player of the Year awards, the All-Star accolades. All ties into your contract consensus. So that's why Gobert money is extremely higher than Donovan Mitchell's, even though
although he's making more money, arguably more than he deserves, I don't think trading him is the way. First seed, you got to understand, regular season does not matter as much as the playoffs, but it does matter, and it does set you up to be in a position to succeed in the playoffs. The Jazz were in that position. They just crapped the bed, bro. I don't really know. I don't think there's anything wrong with that team when I look at them, honestly. I don't think there's anything wrong with that team. But they just didn't deliver. And to get beat by a Kawhi-less Clippers, I feel
like in a year where the Lakers are out, the Nets are out, and all these other teams that everybody was high on are out, the Jazz is supposed to be one of those teams remaining, and they aren't. And I don't think that's that. And they've been one of the most consistent teams at making the playoffs. So now, all these other teams are showing that they're, they feel like they're ready. They feel like they've overcome it. So now I feel like they're gonna fall behind if they keep the same team.
Which brings me, I think they're going to make a trade. I think they're going to go out and get somebody similar to what the Suns did, getting Chris Paul. Maybe not that same caliber player, but this offseason, they're going to go out and try to land somebody. Like OKC did when they got Paul George. A small market team is about to go out and get a big time.
Would you see them trading for Kimba from OKC? Is Mike Conley going to be gone?
Maybe. That's what they do.
I feel like that would help. Right.
That would be smooth.
Because Mike Conley, you let Mike Conley walk, Kimba walk in. Kimba knows it's not his team. Mike Conley kind of on that later half of his career. He can go play with some veteran. I can see him going to like a Clipper or or Brooklyn or something like that, just to be on the team or associated with a team
And
like
yeah,
that.
the Thunder just want picks right now
What's that
anyway.
looking like?
So give him a
What's that
pick
looking
for
like?
later.
Who?
Kimba.
Clarkson in a pick. Ingles. Clarkson.
Oh,
Bogey.
they're not
What's that
giving up.
looking like?
I think they give up just straight picks.
And I think
they-
they give up a player to make the
And
money.
a player picks and a player probably be like,
Because I think Kimba make like 30 million or 28 million. Got to make the money work depending on
but
the
they
cap.
losing.
But they losing Conley. Yeah, you're right.
Conley
They losing Conley.
contract. They don't have to
Yeah.
give up anybody.
Right. You're right.
But that's just the idea. It's just they need something else, and it's like I feel bad for Kimba, but Kimba is really on that point where it's like you're about to start getting treated like nobody wants you. You at that point in your career right now. You contract big, and OKC don't even want you. They just traded for you just because. So maybe Utah should make that call.
Hey, he's not the least. He's not the least valuable point guard
Right.
making $30+ million in the NBA. So you know what I'm saying. But we'll get there later.
All right. We move on to the Phoenix Suns sweeping the Denver Nuggets in 4 games. The MVP Jokic left it all out there on the court, but with no Jamal Murray, he tried his best, but he inevitably failed. For the Denver Nuggets, Paul Millsap contract is expiring. JaVale McGee contract is expiring as well. Murray makes 31 million next year. Jokic makes 30 million. Will Barton has a player option of 14 million next year, and Aaron Gordon is set to make 16 million. I'm gonna go first. It's time. We was pitching this last year to the Nuggets to go out and get a superstar or a star because I felt they didn't have the adequate enough help. After losing with Murray being injured, coming off ACL injury, Michael Porter Jr. being inconsistent, go out and try to get Bradley Beal from Washington. Pair Jokic with a true number 2, a true superstar, quote unquote. I mean, my bad, offensive superstar. And I think try to run it back in the battle-tested West. I think that's the plan that Michael Malone should pursue.
I wholeheartedly think you flip Michael Porter Jr. for Bradley Beal.
You gotta add picks and
That's not equal at all.
No, I'm not saying it. The Wizards already understand that they're not getting full value. Michael Porter Jr. on a rookie contract. Bradley Beal's like a top 10 contract in the league. So that's already that. They got Aaron Gordon. They got Murray. That's a good person to fill in with. And as far as the Wizards, they're about to be the new Pistons of the NBA. So
I feel similarly about the Nuggets as I do the Jazz. Like they just got beat, bro. Like
But no, they didn't win a game though.
Bro, listen. I don't know what's going on with these Suns win streaks. They closed out last season 8-0. They have won 8 in a row. I don't know if we have fully realized that yet, but the Suns have won 8 games in a row. So, I mean, look, I'm going to say that, I'm going to put it on wax. Do not be surprised if the Suns sweep the Clippers too, bro. Do not be surprised. Because with or without Chris Paul, okay? Not saying Chris Paul's not valuable. Not saying they don't need Chris Paul to win the championship. But do not be surprised if they beat the Kawhi-less Clippers without
Chris Paul.
Without Kawhi Leonard and Chris Paul playing, because I think Monty Williams is a better coach than Ty Lue.
Ooh, hot.
He is.
Can you legitimately say that?
He is.
Can you legitimately say that?
He's never had the best player in the league to coach. He is.
I don't know the way the adjustments Ty Lue be making in game.
But I'm not saying Ty no slouch either. That's not like when I put one above somebody, I don't mean I'm dissing him.
Ty got a ring as a coach. I'm not playing him. You know what I'm saying? But when the Suns get hot,
no, I agree with that.
When Devin Booker hit 6 field goals in a row in the fourth quarter, man.
I seen him do that live. I watched him do that live. I said, damn. This boy cold. Like, is it that mid range? What'd you say about the mid range stat, bro? His mid range game. Like, I thought Kawhi had the best mid range.
Stan Van Gundy said while commentating the game the importance of the mid range and said you need to have a player who can hit the mid range in the playoff games. Mid range wins playoff games, not 3-pointers.
And the Suns have 2 of them who are elite mid range jump shooters.
Right.
So
the 2 of the
you know what I'm saying?
That's why I say Kawhi. They miss Kawhi because Kawhi owns that. Like, that's his thing. That's his game. And a lot of teams lack that. That's why, I think that boy, one of your favorite players, is going to be a high commodity next year, Bruiser.
That boy DeMar, who the best in the league behind you? Me, and me. Yes, sir. But back to the Nuggets. Demond, what do you think about the Nuggets? Run it back with a healthy Jamal Murray and a progressing MPJ, or try to land a star?
Um, I would like to see them run it back with a healthy Jamal Murray. I definitely think not having them against Phoenix. When you're talking about a team, I mean, you guys are talking about Devin Booker and how elite of a scorer he is and everything he's able to do at all different levels. That's what Jamal Murray is for the Nuggets. I mean, when they get cold, they look to him for a basket. We know how big he's played in the playoffs, and the pick and roll with him and Jokic is one of the best in the league. That's something that they didn't have in their full arsenal, and trying to do it from a different extent with Aaron Gordon is just not going to hit the same. So I'd like to see them bring Jamal Murray back, have him, try to see if they can take that step. I mean, let's look at it. They were just in the Western Conference Finals. They had the MVP. We saw Jokic get better. Michael Porter's only going to get better. He still got a lot of solid pieces. If they can bring back Austin Rivers and Monte Morris, it's a lot going for the Nuggets. And while, yes, you could try to get a player like Bradley Beal, you're going to, ultimately have to come off things, see what you can add before having to move off other pieces. And we'll see what the free agent market looks like for the Nuggets. But I don't think, just as Maceo said, just like the Jazz, there's not much that they can do. I mean, they have a lot of talent that they could piece together, but I'm not sure as if immediately I would give it one more go. If it was me, I believe they have the abundance of talent to win a championship. I do.
Okay. All right. We move on to the Eastern Conference. We'll start with the Milwaukee Bucks shocking the world, defeating the Brooklyn Nets in 7 games. Kyrie Irving suffered a high ankle sprain injury that left him out of the remainder of the games, I believe 5, 6, and 7. James Harden tried to come back and play off his injured hamstring, and he did. And Kevin Durant was sensational, having a triple-double in his Game 5 performance and playing another. And he played 48 minutes in that Game 5. And Game 7 played 53 minutes, almost won the game prior to overtime, but his foot was on the line. What they said in that commercial? His foot was on the line. Damon, Brooklyn Nets ambassador, expiring contracts. You guys have Jeff Green, Tyler Johnson, Spencer Dinwiddie plans to opt out of his $12 million player option. 3 max contract spots. Joe Harris is making $17 million next year. We all know super teams get better in year 2. Is that how you feeling coming into next season?
Oh, absolutely. Listen, man, if I'm the Nets, I'm not panicking. Okay. This was a very nuanced loss to the Bucks. Okay. You bring together these 3 superstars. They all play great when they do play throughout the regular season. And 2 of them are injury prone, asterisk. And in the playoffs, specifically speaking, Kyrie carried the team throughout the regular season. He got hurt. They lose. If you're the Nets, you do not have to panic here. You do not have to start throwing money anywhere. Dang, I feel like I'm saying the same thing about all these teams. You just have to. They got a poor luck of the draw. That game was winnable. Now those games 6 and 7, obviously 6, but game 7 was a very winnable game. They didn't pull through. Don't panic, man. Run it back. LeBron, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh lost the first year when they got together. It's all good. That team, if they're all healthy, they should still win the East next year, potentially win the finals next year. Just get everybody back together, get everybody back healthy. Keep Blake Griffin. He played very well. He played above what people thought he was going to play in the playoffs. You have 3 of like the 7 best scorers on the entire NBA on your team. It will work out. Don't freak out. Run it back year 2, get that championship. That's how I feel about the Nets.
I forgot to add Blake Griffin and Bruce Brown contracts are expiring as well. Damon, do you agree with Mace?
I do. The GM came out today and said, I believe Blake, Jeff Green, and Joe Harris specifically Bruce Brown instead of Joe Harris are guys that they are circling to get back. I think Joe Harris, when you consistently in a 7-game series, if Brooklyn maybe would have lost in 6 or something, but Joe Harris had some pretty good looks and a lot of minutes that he just was not able to capitalize off. I believe he may be a center point in trade talks for them, but I mean, it's not a lot of flexibility, but they have the talent. The talent is there. Kyrie was hurt, Harden injured. And KD, we know how I feel about KD, best player in the world. You tie it all together, another year for Steve Nash, and see what it looks like. I like to see them do something. It remains to be seen what the Bucks do, but a guy like PJ Tucker who can come in and take a lot off the plate for them defensively would be nice. We already know the relationship he has with KD. Something like that. They need a 3-and-D guy who can go in and take that best matchup for them, and they can spread out just like a lot of good teams have had before, championship winning teams. So we'll see if they're able to add a piece that they need, which I believe is a 3-and-D player.
Before I give it to you,
Or
Cut,
defense.
Sure, Derek.
before I give it to you, Derek, I just gotta say, Harden, Durant, and Irving have player options not next season, but the year after. And I think if this team does not win a championship for Brooklyn, I think it's time. It is going to be panic mode. I think next season for them is like kind of a panic mode to win the championship because Harden, Durant, and Kyrie just like, you know what? I don't want to be here and just opt out of their $40 million and go play somewhere else. So I think although that is probably unlikely, I think that's still a possibility, especially if he don't like the culture of Brooklyn. They don't think Steve Nash is doing a good job. They think they have the right talent to surround them. After the next season, them guys can be like, you know what? We can go opt out and just go get more money somewhere else. So, and play somewhere they want to be at. So it's definitely championship or bust for the Nets next season, healthy or not healthy. It's championship or bust. Carter.
The big three will be back for them, obviously. Blake can definitely use this run he just went on to cash in somewhere else and play with somewhere else he prefers to play. I wouldn't be surprised he went back, but again, I think he got a good chance to go to cash in. Bruce Brown is in that 2019, 2018 draft. He was drafted with Kevin Hurt in him, whatever draft they was. So he's about to cash in as well. He showed that he was valuable in his minutes. He's not gonna get a max or anything like that, but he's definitely gonna get broke off a couple, like almost 8 figures, at least an 8-figure contract per year. Who else they got over there? Joe Harris. I mean, they paid Joe Harris to be Joe Harris. Sometimes shots don't fall. That's kind of what, you're a shooter. You're gonna keep shooting. Spencer Dinwiddie will be a big loss, I think, but I think they missed him. I think having him off the bench or having him in Kyrie absence would have made a big difference. But now this is his chance to go try to get him a starting job somewhere else, because I know he wasn't too high on being a backup. I know he wasn't too high on being a backup, so I could see him going somewhere else to try to get a starting job. And then ultimately, the thing people say they didn't need is what they need. They need defense. So no matter how good your offense is, you have to have that defense. And KD being your best defender wasn't gonna cut it. They need to go get somebody that's actually like that's gonna lock up can lock up 48 minutes or however long and don't have to worry about scoring. It's hard to be the best defender and be the best scorer on the team, which is what, the true best player in the league does when it's the crunch time in games.
Had to get that in there. I like it.
He threw it in there for me. I had to throw mine back.
Before we go move to the last team, are there more Brooklyn Nets news? Ooh.
Oh, is DeAndre Jordan contract up?
Let me take a looky look. His contract is not up. He gets paid $9 million next year, 9.8. Did you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. And last but not least, we got to talk about the series that just ended in an amazing Game 7. The Atlanta Hawks defeat the Philadelphia 76ers in 7 games. The big talk of the time is Ben Simmons and his performance. Doc Rivers loses yet another playoff series that goes 7 games where they were the heavy favorites. For the Sixers, expiring contracts include Danny Green, Mike Scott, Dwight Howard, and Cork Mass. They're the three-point shooter they have started in place of Danny Green. What should the 76ers do, guys?
I'll go first. Ben Simmons, I'm talking to you.
Okay.
You are an NBA player who is a star.
Yeah.
And I'm Wait, you're a star. In the regular season, you're a star for sure. I'm not even going to hold it. I'm not even going to hold you on. How is it that you've been in the league for 5 years?
Let them know.
And you are unwilling to
Willing.
shoot a jump shot? We've been saying this forever, okay? I've been on the trade bin because we've been talking about in the NBA sports media outlet. This is not the first time people have discussed Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, should one go, who should go?
True.
My answer is the same for maybe 2.5 years. Simmons is the one that has to go. And this series vindicates me in every way possible.
You hear that, Derek?
You're utterly and thoroughly ashamed that you are your team's second best player and your coach feels like he can't have you on the court because you can't hit a free throw, because you want to shoot 34% in the playoffs. You should feel completely and utterly ashamed. And I hated his post-loss interview where he was like, it is what it is. No, you're not what we think you are. And you need to start taking that seriously or your team will never succeed. But I say personally, trade Ben Simmons to a team that needs a point guard. He's not without value, but in the playoffs, without a jump shot, he's ultimately worthless. Send him to someone like the Thunder or maybe the Timberwolves. Pair him with Cat. Maybe they could get something going because that team needs defense. Ant Cat, and Ben Simmons. I feel like they could be talking about something there. That's how I feel. Sixers, you failed it. I really feel bad for Doc because he's going to get a lot of the flack, and I'm not going to say he doesn't deserve it because talent-wise, if you go down 1-for-1, the Phillies are a much more talented team than the Hawks. They got outplayed. Trae Young didn't play well, but guess what? All his homies came to shoot, so it ended up not mattering. So it was a great series to watch. Ben Simmons, you basically suck. I'm sorry. He needs to go. Keep Embiid. Build around Embiid. You need guys around Embiid who can shoot. It's not going to work. Philly is never going to win a championship with Ben Simmons as their point guard.
They're here first. And I also like to add that the Sixers were the more experienced team than the Atlanta Hawks. And that just happened. So crazy.
I'm older than most of the Hawks players. It's crazy, bro.
Cut Carter.
The process, huh?
Yeah, it's over. It's so they said
one of the funniest tweets I saw was Markelle Fultz would have scored more points than Ben Simmons. And I said, yeah, he probably would have. And they let him leave because they tried to rush the process. This team, I've been saying blow it up for a minute, and a couple of times I would say the wrong person.
Yes, sir. Admit it.
I can admit that I used to. Ben got LSU ties, so I can admit that I was on the wrong side of blowing it up. But now I can honestly say, there's no way he could come back and start for your team next year. And I'm a big, Ben is Clutch Sports has been. I'm really pro Ben. I like him. I am confused as to how, like, from college to now, the shot got worse, because in college you used to shoot them. So I just don't get, like, I don't know where to disconnect. I've literally seen with my own two eyes Ben shoot a mid range, and it looked good. And then somewhere, but then this is why it's not all his fault. Philly has historically effed up multiple people's shot. Like Markelle was a shooter before Markelle could shoot before he got there. Then all of a sudden it was like Markelle's shots messed up. No, y'all coached him to mess up his shot. And I think the same thing happened with Ben. And whoever their shooting coach is needs to be fired immediately.
Spell.
And I think they regret letting JJ Redick walk, because JJ used to help out a lot with getting shooters to shoot. And like JJ Redick used to help with Lonzo as well, like when he was with the Pelicans. So I know JJ was trying to help with them guys out. And now your veteran presence is gone. You also have Danny Green on your team. I mean, there's so many shooters on the team. Steph Curry, can you not watch them shoot? Like, is that not an option to learn from somebody else? I don't know. So they say he's going to switch his shooting hand. But I don't think it really matters at this point. I think they regret not trading him for Harden or Kyle Lowry or whatever they want to do. They had their chance to get moving. Now his value is going to be lower because he just did this. And I don't think there's no coming back from this type of loss in 2021. So I do believe they have to move him. I do also think that Tobias Harris deserves a little blame. And I don't know if he can make it in Philly either. Cork Mods was really solid. I think he got a chance to go get an eight-figure payday, at least $10 million somewhere. He reminds me of Dario Saric, who the Sixers also let go or traded. This all goes back to the Philly front office, though. A lot of their decision making was off. Didn't they take Ben before Tatum?
Yeah, that was the Lonzo draft. Nah, Ben was the first round pick though.
Yeah. They took Ben before Tatum. They have Fultz already. They also traded Mikal Bridges to the Suns for Zaire Smith. And I told you all season, but Mikal is not somebody to sleep on. And
That it was the it was Simmons, Brandon Ingram, Jaylen Brown draft.
okay,
That was the year after.
Brandon Ingram would be a better fit with Joel Embiid right now, or Jalen, either one of them, honestly. So it's just the GM, their front office deserves a lot of this blame because their decision making has brought them to this point. But I think Danny Green's gone. I think Korkmaz is gone because they don't have any money. Like they gotta trade Ben to pay people.
I think they're gonna package Harris and Simmons. That's how they get Simmons out of there.
Harris and Simmons to the Rockets for John Wall.
They ain't making them better.
I'm just giving an example of a team that got somebody. I don't know. Do they try to send him well, no, the Thunder not trading Shea. So I don't know where they can send him. But they gotta get him out of there.
DeMond.
I say Timberwolves.
Timberwolves got D'Lo. I don't think they want him either.
And he friends with Cat. They be like tight for lifers.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
Wizards. Hey, the Wizards about to start over. They could send them both for like a Bradley Beal type thing. I could see that. That'll be. I don't know about Russ. I don't think Russ doesn't want to be there. So I can't see him.
Daryl Morey's an aggressive GM, so he's gonna make a move this offseason.
Yeah, somebody's gonna be gone. But I just remember early on the season, I said I had the Celtics playing the Lakers in the finals, and then I came back and I said the Celtics not showing me enough. I'm gonna switch my pick to Philly. But then we got to these offs, and I watched them, and I said, no. It came over me, and I couldn't even pick them in the series because I couldn't stand on them doing anything after what I saw. So goodbye and good riddance to the Ben Simmons Embiid process. I think it's over.
Do you agree, tomorrow?
I'll tell you right now, you can come get Spencer Dinwiddie, Joe Harris, and the first for Ben Simmons. We'll play him at the 5, man. We'll take that right now. 5 or 4. He can come play for Brooklyn. Get yourself a couple shooters. Dinwiddie can score. Give him the ball. He can go cook for it. Hey, man, it's a match made in heaven.
Now that would be crazy to see. However,
they're not doing that. They don't need picks for that.
They can't afford it. They can't afford it.
Something realistic I saw was most likely if Dame does confirm that he would like to be traded, Ben and Tobias to Portland, start a full rebuild, get a pick in addition to Ben and Tobias for Dame. It wouldn't be bad. I like that for Philly. I think they become immediate favorites. Yes, I said it. Favorites in the East with Dame and Embiid.
You know you don't believe that.
I do.
Favorites over KD and them.
Over KD and them, you really believe that? Look, bro, a lot of me right now.
Dame is my second favorite player in the league right now, and I can honestly say I think the Nets still would probably beat.
I think Dame, just off, we know his elite shot making ability and everything like that. The different change of pace as far as competition in the East would be a step up for him because he would automatically, him and Kyrie, I just think are right there 1 and 2 as far as point guards in the East. Then you talk about him being able to finally delegate to somebody. I mean, it's a match made in heaven for him.
I think Portland gonna move CJ before they move Dame.
I agree.
They're gonna try to bring him back one more year.
They're gonna try to make it work with Dame before they.
Yeah, I
could. They for like I get what you're saying though. Like if he come out and say it, but like to them he's the franchise. He is the franchise. So it's like you can't really come up off him. For like Philly though, Embiid's the franchise. Like once you kind of stamp who's the franchise guy, then it's like okay, everybody else is kind of expendable if it's making us better.
Yeah.
I don't know who the person they're going to get for it is, but the trade that the Portland Trailblazers need to make is McCollum, Nurkic, pick. Go get a star big. I don't know who. Maybe Cat. I like Cat.
You think they should go big? You think they should go big and not score?
If you keep Dame, you got to go big. That's the way I feel.
Yeah.
And
I
you and they're
can't
you don't
think
need
of anybody out there, to be honest.
Giannis, huh?
He said no, he
I
can't
can't
think
think
of
of
nobody.
I can't think of anybody out there like big wise, to be honest.
Honestly, the only person I can think of is Cat. I think Cat needs to leave the Timberwolves. But like, we're not talking about teams that are in the playoffs right now. When we already talked
Yeah,
about but yeah, I don't know. But the people that to fix the Trailblazers, get a star big, McCollum Nurkic in the pick. That's what I think. But yeah.
Yeah. Any more news regarding the teams that are eliminated in the conference semifinals?
nope.
All right, let's get our NBA conference finals predictions on wax. We'll start with the series that already started on Sunday. Losing my days. The Suns are currently up 1-0 on the Los Angeles Clippers. Kawhi is out for game 2. Chris Paul still in COVID protocol. D-Book versus Paul George. Suns Clippers. I can go first. I have the Suns in 6. I think the Clippers love being down 0-2 for some reason. So I think they would come back and make this a series. However, I have the Suns pulling it through. I do agree with Mace that Monty Williams is the better coach than Ty Lue, even though I don't think the gap is that wide. And then they now have a superstar in Phoenix by the name of Devin Booker. So I think the Suns will.
Stamped.
So I think the Suns will win this game. Cam Payne contributes. Michael Bridges contributes. DeAndre Ayton. Remember we were talking about the Jazz and Suns earlier, and you weren't so sure about Ayton. He could be that guy in the postseason. He's proved it so far. Going up against AD before the injury, going up against Jokic, going up against Zubac or whoever, Nicholas Batum, whoever they throw at him. So I think Ayton has arrived. He is living up to that first overall pick billing. And yeah, and shout out James Jones, Executive of the Year, acquiring Chris Paul, acquiring Jay Crowder, just building a complete team. So have the Suns making it to the finals for the first time since I don't even remember.
Hey,
Barkley?
I'll go through and say it.
Before my time.
Suns in 5. Suns in 5. Suns
Y'all tripping. I agree with y'all, but y'all tripping because you already know what time it is. Suns in 4.
Suns in
4. The Clippers are not beating this team, bro. They're going to go into the NBA Finals on an 11-win streak. That's what I think.
You mean 12?
Wait. Yeah. Wait. 9, 10,
no,
11.
It's 11.
It's 11. Because the series games left.
They won 8. After they was down 1-2 against the Lakers, they beat them 3 times. No, they beat them.
The 3. I thought they went down 1-0. Oh no, they did win the first
1-2. They beat the Lakers 3 times, swept the Nuggets, and they beat the Clippers. 8-game win streak.
Okay.
What about you, Damon?
I've got the Suns making the finals in 5. I think the Clippers, I like the Suns to go up at least 3-0. Not 3-0. I'd like them to go up 2-0 like the Clippers to get one back in LA. And then Chris Paul probably comes back around game 4 and starts to put the nail in the coffin in that one. Starts to dead that comeback, all that. Like you said, going down 2-0. I think he comes in, sets the tone in his former home in LA. And that's going to be big for them, for him to bring that presence back and him to get over that emotional piece of never being able to get to that next level in a team that many would say he had his best chance years after years to do it. It's going to be big for Chris Paul to have that as a stepping stone. So Suns of 5.
All right. And for the Eastern Conference Finals, the Milwaukee Bucks, the number 3 seed, will face against the Atlanta Hawks, the number 5 seed. I have the Bucks in 5. I think the Hawks, they overachieve like crazy. No DeAndre Hunter, no Cam Reddish, being the Knicks, being the Sixers, but I think this is when they meet reality, and I think this reality is battle tested. The Bucks overcame the demon of the Brooklyn Nets, Kevin Durant being a great player, and after this game, they have no pressure on them. They are confident that they can go into any situation and win, and I think they will have the Bucks in 5. Coach Bud revenge tour.
There goes gravity. Goes gravity. Gravity. Give me the Hawks in 7. Yo, Atlanta. And then guess what? They beat him in 7, and Bud gets fired by the team that he left. The team he didn't want to rebuild with. The team that rebuilt so organically and so healthy that they're back in the offs this soon. With a real coach.
It would have been 6 years. Ain't soon.
That's bro. You know how long it takes teams to rebuild, especially teams that can't get stars. Like
The Suns were in a 10-year playoff drought. I see.
they can't get stars. You know what I'm saying? If your team can't get stars, it's hard. Yeah, I got Atlanta in 7 though. I think this is where like Giannis might get his, but he gonna need. This is the series Drew gonna have to be.
You got to be better for sure.
Yeah, Drew got to be like that. Pelicans Trailblazer series Drew.
Yeah, I think he exerted a lot of energy guarding Kyrie and Harden. So I think there's no player on the Hawks. You could put Trey, but Trey ain't gonna have you working like Kyrie and Harden. Respectfully.
Oh man,
I think Trey gonna make him work.
Trey makes your whole defense operate differently. I mean, so does Kyrie and Harden sometimes.
So who you got winning, Mace?
Oh, I mean, okay, look. When it comes to series that are really close, I think this series is going 7.
Yeah.
I like to look at how many things have to go right for each team in order for them to succeed. I think for the Bucks, that list is shorter, so I'm going to go Bucks in 7. I don't think this game isn't going. I don't think the series is not going 7 games. I think Trae Young has proven that 6 times out of 7, he can put up a performance that can carry your team. 6 times out of 7, that's 83% of the time he can put up a performance that can carry your team. But in order for the Hawks to succeed, they need Bogey to be hit against the Bucks, against Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, and that other guy. They need Porter to succeed. They need Bogey to succeed. They need well, I'm not going to mention him. Of course, Trae Young, he doesn't really need to play that well, but he needs to set his team up in order for them to get the shots that they need to succeed. I think the Giannis is going to look much more like an MVP than he did in the last series. Because what the Hawks going to do about Giannis? Like, what are they going to do? Capella is not who he was 3 or 4 years ago. He's nimble, but he's not very forceful. He's not very strong. Embiid played much better than him most of that last series.
And plus, they have Brooke Lopez as well. That's what Capella gonna have to deal with.
And Capella and John Collins, man, oh my goodness. Giannis might put up 53 times this series. And I don't even like Giannis like that, but they have nothing for him, So because the Bucks have less boxes to check, also Chris Middleton has been playing lights out. You know what I'm saying? He's been a very, very strong number 2, sometimes occasionally number 1 for the just maybe.
He's the closer. He's the closer for sure.
He's the closer. You know what I'm saying? When you need that bucket in the fourth quarter, he's been delivering. We've been seeing great things from Chris Middleton ever since Giannis put him on his All-Star team. And everybody was like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? So Bucks have less boxes to check, Bucks in 7.
And Demond.
I am going to take the Bucks in 6. I think from my perspective, every box that I wanted to see them check in the series against Brooklyn, they checked it. Middleton and Drew, I said that they needed to hit the big shots. You think about, I believe it was game 3 after the Bruce Brown layup. Drew had a spin layup to put them up in that game and forced a tough shot for KD for the win. Game 6, Chris Middleton was the closer, 38, an elimination game, got a winner, go home. Those guys stepped up, and even Giannis in game 7, we talk about, not the bag of arson. He doesn't have the arsenal that we would all want out of a superstar player, but a minute left in the game, he hits the jump hook to put them up 2. I mean, I got to give the Bucks their credit. I think PJ, the combination of PJ and Drew and Middleton being able to throw different things at Trey, not having DeAndre Hunter is definitely going to finally catch up to the Hawks this series. I feel like not having that length and outside shooting prowess that they like out of him is definitely going to catch up with them. And I think that, as Maceo was saying, Giannis is going to take advantage inside. And something that really hurt the Nets was not being able to play DeAndre Jordan inside and what he could have done for Giannis. When you think about that for this series, they do have Capella, who's very capable inside, but that takes away Brooke Lopez and him being able to defend on the outside, which we just saw Rudy Gobert get ate up and talked about all series for. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Hawks and Nate McMillan gel in this series because, like Bruiser said, they don't have the experience and everything. And the Bucks are favored in almost every category, but the Hawks just played against something like that. So if the Hawks could come out in Milwaukee game 1 and set the tone like they did in Philly,
Yep.
this is gonna get nasty.
Yep, I agree. I think game 1 is pivotal. If the Hawks do what they did against Philly, do it against the Knicks, they're gonna have that confidence. They have all that confidence in them. They think they can win this series. So, got a game 1 in Milwaukee, and Bucks got to put their foot on their throats. Is there any more NBA playoff news before I ask an NBA related question?
All good.
All right, guys, I got a question for you guys. Not a hard question. I just want to hear you guys is which NBA head coach job opening is the best in your opinion? We got the Mavericks, we have the Pelicans, we have the Trailblazers, we have the Celtics, we have the Magic. There we go. And we have the Pacers. And we may have 2 other head coach openings depending on this Hawks-Bucks series. They may fire Coach Bud, or the Hawks may not want to keep Nate McMillan. Which head coach job do you think is the best?
I'm gonna tell you right now. I believe that Celtics is the best job for me, and I'm gonna tell you why. I think between Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, of course, you have one of the top young duos in basketball. But with Brad Stevens being in the head coaching job, there's going to be a lot of flexibility. I feel like if someone can come in and have a voice, that's the biggest thing for me in this position. Are they going to be able to run the team as they see fit, or is Brad Stevens being elevated to this role just a deeper meaning of him being able to kind of pull the pieces, but also, like, I don't want to see them bring in somebody who's just going to be running Brad's game plan. I want to see somebody who can have a relationship with Brad and get the players that they want in there to run a system that is new to these players. And I think if that's the approach that's be taken with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, all respect to Dame and Luka, those 2 together, they do have the ability to win a championship.
Carter.
I think it's the best job. The Celtics job is the best job. I don't know about championship yet. I think it's way more required than people think to win a championship. But I do think the Celtics had the best roster, which is why I say it's the best job. So,
I also like that the Wizards have a head coach opening as well.
You could have kept that. Nope, I don't expect Russell Westbrook or Bradley Beal to be on that team next year. So I don't even care. But if they are there, then I guess maybe it'll be a good job though. Not really. Probably like the 6th worst job. Or the 6th best job. But I do think the chance to play with a superstar in Dame and get CJ flipped for somebody else would excite me. I think when you got a team like the Blazers, it's not when you got a top 5, top 6 player in the league. What more could you ask for as far as implementing the system? Because it's gonna be good with him. It's really just the pieces around him. However, I think that can be said about the Celtics job as well. But as far as if you want to be a coach and have time to grow as a coach, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're an unproven coach, you haven't really accomplished anything. This is gonna be your first job. I think taking that Wizards job or the Pacers job might be the Wizards job would be in your best interest. Any of those playoff teams is gonna be more pressure, and then the Pelicans, it's just gonna be pressure because of the players that you have on that team, and everybody expects a lot out of them now.
Mace, 7 head coach openings right now: the Wizards, the Pacers, the Pelicans, Mavericks, Blazers, Magic, and Celtics. And there may also be another one depending on the Bucks-Hawks series. Which head coaching job do you think is the best?
Man, it's really obviously the Celtics, bro. Like, it's obviously the Celtics. You look at the rosters they've had for the last 3 to 4 years. They are the one team. If I had to list, let's say there was a poll, right? What team in the NBA in the last 5 years should have won a ring at some point? They're at number 1 on that list, in my personal opinion. How do they not have a ring yet? You know what I'm saying? If you want the talent on that team. You have Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. You just got Al Horford back, hilariously. Kemba's gone, but with those guys, or with those two, the first two guys I named, forget Al Horford. We ain't got to go there. But with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, man, that is a duo. That's a potential future superstar duo. Like that team should have made it somewhere by now. If you can make that team work very easily, and the expectations are going to be rather significant, yes, but the right man with the right plan, I guess you could say this for anywhere, but the right man will make that team work. Celtics should have had a ring in the last 5 years at some point, and I hope they get one in the next 4. And I'm a Lakers fan. But it's absurd. It's that absurd that I'm a Lakers fan saying, hey, these guys need to win, because I would hate for Jason Tatum's career and Jaylen Brown's career to be spent there for an entire decade or something like that. And there's no gold on their fingers because of it. So that's where I'm at.
I agree. I think the best job is the Celtics. You got Tatum and Brown, but I also feel like the job where a head coach won't feel any kind of pressure. They can just go in there, coach, develop young talent, is the Orlando Magic. We talked about it last podcast, how they have a crop of young talent. I think getting a first-time head coach in there just to develop that talent, hopefully develop them into stars. Chuma, Cole Anthony, Mo Bamba, Jonathan Isaac, Markelle Fultz. I think a coach like Chauncey Billups can go in there, develop some talent, and just build it year by year, just getting better each year. Similar to how the Bucks emerge, similar to how the Atlanta Hawks emerge. So I think the Magic, if I'm a head coach and I just want to get my feet wet, but also build a great group of talent, it's the Orlando Magic. For sure. Any more head coach opening jobs? I know Cut Carter, Stan Van Gundy was fired. Were you happy or was that to your dismay?
I'm glad he out of there. I don't understand why you got a young team and you playing a bunch of veterans. It don't make sense. Let the young guys play. It's that simple.
Simple as that. Did you guys see the Team USA roster for basketball?
I'm not really that interested this time around. I think they win though. I just don't think it matters.
Yeah, maybe. So far the commits are Damian Lillard, Devin Booker, James Harden, Bradley Beal, Jason Tatum, Kevin Durant, Draymond Green, and Bam Adebayo. Some opt-outs: Stephen Curry, Donovan Mitchell, Jimmy Butler, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. So it's going to be not a young team, but still some players, some stars, some superstars in there as well to go in there for Team USA and win.
I feel like it's all the hoopers and all the people that feel like they got something to prove. It's one or the other.
Bam got something to prove.
Yep.
Draymond.
Something to prove.
Oh, I wasn't looking.
Hey, bro.
Katie.
Bro, I'm telling you right now. James Harden and Kevin Durant are recruiting. Somebody from Team USA will be a Brooklyn Net next year.
So what you mean, they're gonna trade Kyrie? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Pump your brakes, buddy.
There's no way that to work. It don't work. It's just
you can't
you don't have 3 maxes. You can't have 4, I don't think.
We'll see.
Now you only have 3.
Well, $30 million, bro.
Don't do Kyrie like that. That's your boy.
Yeah, I don't know why you ever thought that.
Wow. The world we live in.
Speaking of Team USA, I want to say shout out Sha'Carri Richardson, right?
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. Qualifying for the Olympics. Great content on my Bleacher Report feed. LSU Tiger qualifying for the Olympics, sharing a great moment with her family. Had to point that out and say
she left LSU though, but she went pro. That's why she's able to do all that.
Once a boot boy, always a boot boy. Boot girl. Show.
Yeah, I like her. She been cocky though. She was like freshman of the year. She's
not
like
cocky. That's confident. She like that.
She
like that. Any more Olympics news you guys keep up with? Shout out Simone Biles, GOAT.
Oh yeah, GOAT. The GOATy.
Chris Paul is out for game 2 officially. Breaking news on the podcast. Booker PG round 2.
Okay.
And before I give it to Carter for music, just talk to me, man. It's been a chill podcast. What TV shows y'all been watching lately or movies? I started back on that Rick and Morty season 5. Great episode to kick off the season. I enjoyed it. Dope. So shout out Rick and Morty. I haven't started the low-key series yet. I'm waiting for all those episodes to come out, and I haven't started Captain America and the Winter Soldier. I gotta start that as well. But that's what I've been on. I've been caught up on all the DC movies, Batman movies. I'm a DC stan now. Damon put me onto animated lifestyle, and now I'm there for 4L.
Good.
Now
Now DC.
You said what, Mace?
Go ahead. I said DC's animated movies are spectacular. The 90s Batman stuff, all amazing. Go ahead, Derek.
I was about to just say I've been having a hard time like watching shows. I guess I've been tired. I don't know what it is, but I did finally start back up on season 1 of Dave so I could start watching season 2. I also started season 2 of LA's Finest on Netflix. Gabrielle Union and Jessica Alba. Two of my crushes from back in the day. You dig. I think they both was in Bring It On. I think they both was in Bring It On. I know Gabrielle Union was in it, but I think Jessica Alba was in it too. If not, she for sure played Honey, which brings me back to my crushes from my childhood. But LA's Finest is fine. It's like a Bad Boys 2 spinoff TV show, so I like watching it because it connects to. She's playing Sid Barnett, which is Martin Lawrence's sister in the Bad Boys. And that's pretty. Master of None came back on Netflix too in another season, but I never finished season 2 of that. But Aziz Ansari used to be real funny to me. I just haven't got back around to it. And my boy that plays Shang-Chi, the show I discovered him on Netflix called what's it called? It's a sitcom. It's called something. It's an Asian American TV show, but yeah, that's got a season 5 that just dropped on Netflix as well. So I'm kind of behind. Loki, I started half episode 1. I just dozed off and I haven't got back to finishing it yet.
Before one of y'all go, do you think Marvel lost its steam? Marvel stand Damon? Think Marvel lost its steam, its hype, that feeling?
No.
Oh well, you of course you was gonna say that.
You were trying to bait me in, but no.
No, that's genuine. No, that's a genuine question. Like I feel like people aren't like in tune with the series lately. Like
we ain't got a movie in almost a year plus.
So to contradict your thoughts, Bruiser, Loki was the most watched Marvel series premiere. So
not most watched. Talking about I haven't been people talking about
since their premiere, so they are gaining back viewers. And to Derek's point, Black Widow does come out next week.
Getting that bag.
So I'm good. I've been patient.
Bruh.
And I think
they're giving us the movie in July, but that's the worst movie they could have possibly given us in July.
To you, because I'm hyped for Black Widow, but to you,
hyped for what?
Waiting for Black Widow.
You hyped for a backstory that don't really matter no more.
Well, let me break it down for you.
Let them know.
The Taskmaster is actually one of the best Marvel villains because we're gonna see moves from Black Widow and Spider-Man. They're saying that it might be Clint, which will give us a backstory on his upcoming series. But also General Ross, who, if you remember from Captain America, Civil War, the Hulk movie, tried to create a fake Captain America Winter Soldier serum. They're saying he's going to retest it again. And either one of two things is going to happen. Red Hulk, which I would love to see, or everything with U.S. Agent, all that coming together. Zemo now on the raft. They're going to have a villain team come together and try.
It's going to be all that at once.
Yeah, I mean, there's endless possibilities
that boy Demond be giving out.
How is that all gonna happen? Zemo on the raft? That was after, and this is before.
I mean, it's a whole backstory that the movie is going to be.
I'm saying the movie's a prequel though, so everything that will happen in this will be before Zemo went on the raft.
I think you're forgetting about who we're talking about here. Marvel with 2 minutes in a post-credit scene could change the whole ball game, and that's what I'm counting on. And
so we're excited for the post-credit.
Yes, that's what I'm excited
for the movie. I mean, I wanted a Black Widow movie for the longest because I just think that there's endless possibilities they can do. I like the more. I mean, I'm not complaining for the the space movies, the Doctor Strange and all the magic, but I mean, Captain America, the Winter Soldier,
I'm more excited for the Eternals and Shang-Chi and all the other stuff.
I can tell you right now, I still have not viewed the Eternals trailer or Shang-Chi.
The Eternals got way more that could come from it than this.
Oh, I hear you, brother. Thanos backstory. They got great actors. I hear you. I am not.
They have.
You don't just put A-listers on a movie. You don't put A-list actors on a movie like that unless it's worth the budget. So that budget means we about to learn something. I'm excited for that.
Marvel is all right, bro. Bruiser.
Just
I
making
have to agree.
sure.
Yeah, no, they're good. Like we are good. We are good.
They
No,
have so much content coming out.
No, I'm not. It's not the content. It's just the pandemic and the not being able to see the movies and the constant pushing back of movies.
Yeah, I think the pandemic ruined their hype.
Yeah, it ruined a lot of the flow for me.
Y'all are not patient.
Hmm?
Oh, y'all are not patient.
Bro, I don't want to be. Bro, I'm saying, bro. No, bro. It's just.
You don't want to be waiting, which is not patient.
Yeah, because
Exactly.
life goes on.
I mean,
My bad.
they're going to continue to give great content. I think Black Widow is going to be a great movie. With the
You understand, bro. Everything I haven't heard you say one thing bad about them ever.
Okay.
It's okay to be a stand, but that's why I was like, I don't expect you to say anything bad about him.
What shows you been watching?
And Maceo being a stand is kind of funny because he's usually anti-stand culture.
bro. It's quality. Like WandaVision, the post Thanos saga, whatever you want to call it, whatever we're stepping into, which we still aren't aware of, which also leads to anticipation. Because they could go. I didn't want to say phase 4 because it sounds so. Yeah, okay, phase 4. We're sitting. If you're, I don't know, man. I feel like, don't you feel anticipation for what Marvel is about to do? Like, don't you feel excitement for why we got a Wanda backstory, what Doctor Strange might be doing, or why we have a U.S. agent now?
They not thinking big picture, Mace.
Like, how are you not possibly? Is it because?
What U.S. agent are you referring to?
How are you not possibly excited for what could happen?
Who?
John Walker.
Oh, that was in the Winter Soldier series. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I ain't watching it. I don't care for spoilers though. Ever since the WandaVision series finale, it just ain't been.
WandaVision was mid to me, but
WandaVision.
The thing about WandaVision that people don't like is they came up, including myself, with theories about people showing up, this, that, and the third. And they said it from the get-go that WandaVision was a series about Wanda's trauma. And we found out all of that. We found out that she had powers way before the Shield or Hydra started experimenting on her, which is something that I was dumbfounded to see. And then it's just a whole bunch of different backstories that they can tap into that they did. Like with Agnes, I wanted to see how they were going to set her up rather than in the comics. Her whole backstory was from Mephisto. So for them to twist that off and have her come from her own witch background and they bring it up like that, that was something I love to see with
I hate it.
Said you don't care for spoilers, but in Falcon and Winter Soldier with John Walker, they set it up as him. They haven't, like, in the comics, he's more of like an anti-hero. Like, of course, people don't like him trying to take up that Cap mantle, but he goes away from it in a totally different way in the comics. Cap isn't dead. Like, they get to hooking, and he's like, nah, I just don't want to be Captain America. I'm going to be U.S. agent, and I'm going to do what I want to do. And, like, they didn't tap into that so much in the series, but I think in the film, of course, you have way much more room to be darker. You have way more. There's so many. I mean, like, White Vision, he just ran off and cut. They're saying he's going to pop up in Armor Wars. I don't know what they're going to do, but that's the fun about Marvel. And, you know, we still got She-Hulk, and Moon Knight is something I'm definitely looking forward to. Mahershala Ali is Blade. It's a lot. Fantastic Four is getting that movie.
Bro.
There's like so many endless opportunities for Marvel, and I just think patience is the main. You're probably not going to get an Avengers movie or a team-up movie, anything for like 2 to 3 more years. But I think when it all comes together, it's going to be very, like, my favorite Marvel comic story is Secret Wars. And I think that's what they're setting up. Like, I don't know if all y'all seen Spider-Man, but the Nick Fury post-credit scene in space, that's like the new version of S.H.I.E.L.D. And, like, they've already said this, like, not all Skrulls are good. So some Skrulls in the Secret Wars storyline disguise themselves as Marvel heroes and whatnot. So, like, some of the people we're looking at now, and that's kind of what they teased in Spider-Man, like, we don't know how long Nick Fury been in space. So it's just interesting to think about. They've been setting up a lot of different stuff. So we getting 4 movies before the end of this year is over. We're gonna be in good shape.
How much Disney paying you, Damon?
They should, man.
Yeah,
They should.
I was
Uh,
on Secret Wars, and I was really excited. I'm really glad that you mentioned that because they hinted a lot of Secret Wars type stuff in Endgame.
yeah.
Like, so I'm really happy to see like the post Thanos, because the post Thanos, obviously what that occurred in the comics is very different than what we're watching. And that's
Yeah.
cool. But I want to see like what the post Thanos situation is going to be and how close it is and how it varies and such.
And,
But yeah,
and
man, this stuff is going to be lit, man.
that's what I'm
In
saying.
a way, I'm excited that y'all aren't excited because y'all are going to be excited at some point. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. For me, it's like I'm not trying to go about it closed minded on anything, like even post Thanos, because they saying we getting the Ant-Man movie has already been confirmed, and it's Quantum Mania, and I'm hearing the plot behind that is like, them going down back into the quantum realm, and they're saying that's how they're gonna bring back the Infinity Stones, like Thanos saying they've been reduced to atoms. Wink, wink. Like, come on now, it's all being put together really well. So I think Marvel has the opportunity to bring back, like, the Guardians movies coming out. They're gonna bring in Adam Warlock. Like, there's so many different directions that they're gonna go, and all of them, like, it's a shame that Chadwick Boseman died, because I think Black Panther would have had the possibility to lead all of this. But I think Doctor Strange will probably be that more direction now. His movie's gonna be crazy. That's probably my number one most forward look to movie. And then Spider-Man. We're gonna get Spider-Man before this year is over. Like I said, Black Widow, The Eternal, Shang-Chi. I haven't been up to part on those two, but 4 movies, I can't complain.
all right, I like it. Before we move on, what shows you been watching tomorrow?
Honestly, bro, I've been watching Adventure Time.
Okay.
I've seen like 100 episodes of like Adventure Time, to be honest, but I've never like seen them in order. But now, because I rewatched regular show and seen it from a different aspect, like some of the darker jokes, or like, you used to think Mordecai was so lame for chasing Margaret, but then you see my boy is really heartbroken. You're like, dang.
Hey, you related.
Yeah, man. You see Rigby being a good friend. You see why Benson is mad all the time because he's stuck in a dead end job, but he really likes them, but he just don't want to be there. You're like, wow, bro, I did not notice all this. So in Adventure Time, it's cool seeing Jake and Finn's bond, and I'm trying to get all the way through this because they just had a movie that they uploaded to HBO Max. So yeah, I've been trying to catch them on Adventure Time, trying to get back on the nostalgia.
Feel it. Yeah, that's it. Carter, music, bud.
Last time we were here, we talked about Pierre Bourne, Culture 3. We had talked about Hall of Fame Polo G. I've been listening to a lot of our newer R&B lately though. So Don Toliver featuring Kali Uchis, the Drugs and Hella Melodies. Mariah the Scientist, my crush.
I just want to say that song is amazing.
Which song?
Don Toliver and Cali.
Yeah. And then my crush Mariah the Scientist dropped Rye World pre-orders, and she dropped a new single on there called To You, which is really, really good. Then we got Temporary Highs in the Violet Skies by Snow Allegra. Her album is available for pre-order. That's dropping this Friday with 2 features from Tyler. Then we got her, whose album just dropped, called Back of My Mind. And it's a couple songs on there I really, really like. This is my first time actually being exposed to her, and I'm like, okay. Like I never listened to her solo project before, and I was like, yeah, shorty onto something, which everybody kind of already told me, but now I know for myself. But back to those Tyler features, because Tyler is dropping his new album this week.
Yes, sir.
So that's exciting because last album Tyler dropped, we all loved, I think, Igor. And we actually went to the tour, me and Brew, and Mace, actually, yeah.
And
it was Tyler and Blood Orange, and it was What a Time to Be Alive. So that kind of brings me into my top 5 a little bit, but I'm not really pressed to do it if we don't want to do it. I was gonna say top 5 Tyler songs, but I feel like we already did that, so I was gonna say top 5 Tyler albums or projects.
We did.
You only got 8.
We did projects before. I think we might have did songs too. I'm not sure though. Well, while we figure that out, can we have look like a little review of The Voice of the Heroes and Life of Purified?
Okay.
Voice of the Heroes. I've listened to it like over about 3 or 4 times, I think. I just right now I'm still stuck on my like favorite songs. So those for me are Hats Off, Who I Want, Medical, and Rich Off Pain.
I'll tell you this right now. I listened to this album. I've been listening to this album a lot more after the week it came out, because I wanted to see how it progressed, and I liked it more. I like it more now than I did when I first got it. The features, to me, Ride Wave was the best feature. The Travis song hits really good. The Thug song, when I first heard it, I really wasn't a fan, but I am really liking the Pain songs, like the type of vibe on here. My favorite song is the outro track, Bruised Up, because it really just feels like the song with Rod Wave. Like that's the type of vibe
I was trying to tell you, Demond. You were clowning me, trying to tell you.
Nah, I mean, I always liked that song, but I knew you was gonna like that one. I also like I have a whole like my best 21, because I know my 2021 most played isn't going to be songs from 2021, so I try to add them on like a playlist on my own. And the songs that I have from this album that are on there is Okay. Is like,
Yeah,
I love that song.
Yeah, he ran okay.
Hold on, because I had him.
I see what all the hype around Baby was after I heard Okay. I said,
you feel me, bro? Baby. Yeah, Baby had a different flow on almost. Like I was just, and then I put the album on shuffle after I listened to it, and it really hits that way too.
Oh yeah, it sounds better on shuffle.
Yeah, I do. Man of My Word is also one of my favorites, and Still Hood. And Lion actually I didn't like at first, but Durk on the Hook was something that I think this album should have had a little bit more of.
I agree with Cut and Demond. I also like Please. Yeah, that's definitely ran that. But yeah, my favorite song off there is Rich Off Pain. I do. Well, you didn't agree, but I did agree with Steve. I said it was overrated. But I think all collab albums, people come with the mindset of it being great, but then they don't meet their expectation because of the collab album.
You could not have said that more perfectly. When a collab album is announced, everybody and their mom is ready to post that LeBron and Kyrie picture or Kobe and Shaq. That's what everybody wants. But a collab album is gonna hit that the same way for everybody. For me, I mean, to keep it all the way real with the viewers, you might not be as real. You might not relate. That might be Steve's. You might not relate. That's why you like A Boogie. You can't relate to Durk and the Voice of the Heroes. You know what I mean? But nah, for real though, I just think it hits from a different side. Like when I listen to YoungBoy, I more so like to listen to YoungBoy's tracks like Pain, like All In is one of my favorite YoungBoy songs. Raw Wave I've been listening to. So the songs on the album that are more in that category have been my favorites.
Yeah, for me too.
Yeah.
And last but not least, the Life of Pierre 5. Did it meet you guys' expectations? I still haven't finished. I'm gonna be honest. I listened to a couple of songs though. The Booker T song. Appreciate Demond for putting me on that song. Oh yeah, my favorite song on there is Pull Up to My Hotel.
Biology, everybody. That's my favorite too. He got a banger right there.
Mace is gone.
Not my favorite.
Oh, you got it.
But
I'm right here.
Not my favorite, but my favorite actually is, I don't know, Butterfly. When I hear that beat, something happens to me, bro, and I go into a different space in my head. And it's just like that little video, the little kid in the middle of the club when he's dancing, and just over and over. I can put Butterfly on repeat and like just vibe to it. So I got Butterfly high on my list. I love the intro and Switching Lanes still. I don't know. I thought I would grow out of it, but I don't. Like every time I hear it, it's like hearing it for the first time. And I got 42 in biology in my top 5 as well. So I mean, I think when Jalen said this was the best album to drop this year, I think he jumped the gun a little bit, but I will say that it is up there. Like every time I hear it some more, I was like, damn, it grows on me more.
Do you agree, Mace?
Well, you didn't ask me my top 5 off the Durk and Baby.
I thought that wasn't your speed. My bad, brother.
Camera off when we said it. You turn your camera off when we said it.
Yeah, that's all I thought. That's not.
Oh, my camera turns off when I do this?
Yeah.
Oh, bro, I didn't know that, bro. My bad.
So
Wow.
I was like, oh, he's not interested.
Yeah, I was like, you didn't listen to that's
I
cool.
was looking at the Durk, I was looking at the Durk and Baby album, waiting my turn, and it never came. I was like, damn, bro.
My bad.
I like my top 5 are probably my favorite song is Bruised Up.
A great outro.
Bruised Up. I really like Make It Out also.
Yeah, I
How
said
It
last
Feels.
5. Yeah, last 5 songs. I think they did great.
How It Feels. Okay, Lying. That's probably my top 5. But I also like Rich Off Pain. I really like Man of My Word. Yeah, those are my favorites. Those 7 or 8 songs, however many I said.
What
And
about
off Life. Go ahead.
what about that Pierre?
That Pierre, I think it's better than the 4 deluxe songs, but not better than 4. My top 5 are, I don't even gotta look, bro. My top 5 is Biology 101, 42. This is in no order. 42. Come on, bro. Damn, I do need to look. Okay. Bro, what's the name? Oh, what's the name of what's the first song, bro?
Switching lanes.
Yeah, Switching Lanes. Let's see. Oh, Amen, of course. And I've actually been listening to a lot of For You lately. I've had a revelation about that song.
Right?
But yeah. That's my top 5 after that.
I will say before getting into my Pierre top 5 for the Life of Pierre 5, I was really looking forward to seeing who was going to be producing Baby and Durk's album. London on the Track had a couple really good songs on there. Wheezy had a couple good tracks, but I think ATL Jacob really ran away. ATL Jacob, with his work with Future, that's when he really put on the map with me with what album was that? The Purple and Orange Future album, which is one of his most underrated, one of my favorite Future albums. But with that album, that's when he got put on the map to me. And in this album, he's really taken off. But the transition to Pierre, my top 5, my number 5 is gonna up there would be this is gonna be nowhere because I have too many favorites off here. For You, one of my top 3 played songs of 2021. Amazing song. I really like Amen, that Pierre. That's y'all know how I feel about that. Switching Lanes is already was a leak for a long time. He added that verse. I mess with that a lot. Biology 101, like me and Bruce was talking about. But Sauce Boy 2 with Uzi, probably one of my favorite Uzi verses, not only this year, but period. I mean, he did what he had to do. He does what he always does, is Uzi. On top, hey.
Yeah. All right, Carter. Ready for the official top 5 motivated?
Y'all decide, man. It's on y'all. I gave you the topics.
All right. Okay. We're going to do something even rarer than a top 10. We're going to do a top 3 no debating. Top three Tyler Creator albums. Maceo, you can start it off.
All right. So at number 3, we got Igor, his last album. I don't know how to describe this music with a genre, and I'm not going to try. I'm tired of trying. It's really difficult.
Well, I do. While you're doing your top 3, I do want to let it be known that I asked you what you thought of Igor when it first came out, and you said, and I quote, "You trying to do too much singing for me, bro. I see what you're trying to do, but So it's good to see that it has grown on you, my friend.
You know what the turning point was? I went to see Tyler in concert, and I don't know. The experience made me understand the album better.
I think, John had went to that concert too. Yeah.
I think Derek went too.
Yeah, Bruce and Derek went too. I'm the only person that didn't make my.
It's almost like it's almost like we just said this, bro, and they weren't listening.
Tell me.
I don't think we were listening, Mace.
Y'all wasn't.
At number 2, we have his debut album, Bastard. It was his first project. It has that first project feel. His introduction to the rap game. He's really, really, really rapping on that album. Like, if you've never heard, I feel like a lot of people who are modern Tyler fans probably haven't heard Bastard. It's on Dat Piff. You need to go and listen to that right now. It's a great album. It is really dark though, so be ready to feel like you got to cancel somebody. Also, and then at the last spot, number 1, we have Wolf. I think Wolf is his most well put together album. He loosens up a bit. It's less He's
feel
not
like
trying
less-
to shock or scare
yeah.
people.
Less abrasive.
Yeah, it's less abrasive. He's really just sitting down, making music. Same subject matter, being the lonely nerd kid, or a lot of touchy romantic songs. He talks about his dad a lot, but he also talks about what it feels like a little bit to be a star now. He mentions his 3-story mansion a lot in that album, all that kind of stuff. So it's a good mixed bag. I feel like that bag is the best mix of who Tyler is as a developed musical artist, even though he's made several albums since then. That's my 3.
I like that. Okay, my number 3 album before the Pops of Vein is Goblin. My introduction to Tyler was She, and Yonkers with him eating cockroaches in the video. I think that's what everybody was put on through Tyler. I don't know, but that album brings back some middle school times for me. Summer listening to that album. Number 2 is actually gonna be Igor. I really like Igor. Really great album. I had this conversation a lot of times. I feel like Igor would have been A+ album if Earthquake was the intro, but neither here nor there. You can take your pick on that one. My number 1 Tyler album is Flower Boy. Flower Boy, to me, it just has so many different vibes on it. Every song could be like a song that you add to a playlist and just gives you a different feel. Like See You Again has definitely been rising up the charts for me. I love that song. Made me listen more to Cali on the side too. 911 with Frank, of course. Boredom is probably my favorite song on here. He also put me on with Jaden with Pothole on this one, and Who That Boy with ASAP. I just think Flower Boy is Tyler's best body of work. That is my top 3 Tyler albums.
Crazy. All right, my turn. Top 3 Tyler credit albums. Number 3, I have Wolf. Songs off there that I love: Party Isn't Over, Campfire Beamer, and I Effing Hate You featuring Pharrell Williams. So Wolf number 3. Number 2, it's Igor. Wasn't gonna listen to it, but I heard Earthquake, heard Cardi come on there. I was like, oh my goodness. I disagree with Damon. I think he ran the first 3 songs with Igor's theme, Earthquake, and I think that has a great song with Are We Still Friends to close out the album, I believe. And lastly, number 1, this is the first Tyler credit project I've really fully listened to, and it is Flower Boy. This was the summer before I went to college, so just playing this song, boredom, because I was bored that summer for some reason. So this album, related to me, and I liked it, enjoyed it, and I liked the Lil Wayne feature on Dropping Seeds. November was hard, and the intro for it was hard as well. So Flower Boy is my favorite Tyler Creator album. And Cut Carter.
All right, my top 3 Tyler albums. Number 3, I have to go Wolf. I was having a hard time debating it. Y'all said y'all didn't like Cherry Bomb, but I actually did. But then I realized I only like certain songs that I just put on repeat for a long amount of time. So I couldn't give it best album, but some of my favorite songs on there. Number 2, I have to go Flower Boy. See You Again, Boredom, 911, Mr. Lonely. It's just a whole lot of I don't know, it made me feel good, like feel good music for me. And I wasn't expecting that from him either, so I was kind of like surprised. And then last but not least, when he dropped Igor, I was also surprised again. But Igor to me is my number 1, and it's number 1 to me because it's rare that I can say I heard almost a flawless album. Like I only didn't like 1 song on there or 2 songs on there. And the concert also did make it better for me, but it made me appreciate it more. But yeah, Igor, I feel like for me, Tyler get better almost with every album. So I am excited to hear the album. I just wasn't pressed to hear the single. I kind of just want to hear all that in one flow.
Gotcha.
I'm also excited for his 2 features on my Girl Snow Allegra album. I feel like he's gonna kill that. I feel like he's been in his R&B bag a lot lately. Like the song Gravity with Brent Fayez. I like the smoother Tyler. Even though, crazy lit, raging, yelling Tyler was cool too, but I feel like he had his I feel like he found a little niche with this smooth Tyler he got going.
Yes. All right. I got you. Is that is there any news breaking? Is that a podcast?
Wrap it up, damn.
I want to say shout out to Carl Nassir is the first openly active NFL player to be openly gay in the NFL. So I want to say shout out to him for coming out and living his truth and getting support from his players, Saquon Barkley, Ryan Clark, and others coming out and supporting him in his decision to finally come out public. So shout out to you. Olympics coming up. NFL, we're about to do our predictions for that in July. So looking forward to that. NBA finals coming up as well. Yeah, I'm going to be tapping into more content soon. And this will conclude episode 104 of the Pack Life Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We're available to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow us at Pack Life Pod and Pack Life Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I am joined here today by my cousin Damon, guys.
Thank you for having me as always, brother.
My brother, Mr. Cut Carter.
But the
And last but not least, the madman himself, Maceo.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Yes, sir. So to recap, I'm your host, Bruiser Carter, and I have the Suns and Bucks. Damon has the Suns and Bucks. Cut Carter has the Suns and Hawks. And Mace has the Suns and Bucks.
Go
CP3.
Atlanta.
We're out of here.
Oh.
New Pack Life.